What's up, hip hoppers? Welcome to Rap Juice. I'm your host, Canvas Murakami, editor in chief of Rap Juice. And today we are going to review Future's newest album, The Real Me. Just a summary here before we get into it. The Real Me is the 10th studio album by American rapper Future, released on July 10th, 2026, through Free Bands and Epic. It is Future's first solo album in 4 years, following I Never Liked You, and his first full length solo project since Mixtape Pluto. Similarly to his last project, Mixtape Pluto, it contains no features. For track number one, we got F for Interview, and I like this track for an intro. Gets you right into the swing of things, hard beat, slides on it. Kind of reminds me of like, when you go to a concert, the first song just gets you in the mood of what's to come, right? It's not the highlight of the night. It kind of just gets you settled in. So that's what I would say about this track. I was looking at the lyrics here and didn't really realize that audio clip to start the record is actually Afro Man. And if you didn't know, Afro Man was going through a huge legal case versus the state, and he ended up winning. Didn't realize, but I do find that pretty funny that Future decided to start his album with none other than Afro Man. Okay, getting into track number 2, 1 2, kind of starts off with nursery rhyme, right? 1 2, buckle my shoe. But in any case, that nursery rhyme was probably more famously known using it for the Freddy Krueger franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street. 1 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3 4, better lock your door. The melody of the keyboard or the piano sounds like a motif from a scary movie, like maybe something John Carpenter would do on like Halloween. All right, track number 3, we have No Misery. This song starts off with another audio clip, this time from Andre 3000, talking about Future. Andre 3K says, everybody discusses that whole genre of rap and they try to discredit it or make it bigger than what it is. Listen to a lot of the artists, and one thing I can say is Future has a certain pain behind what he's doing. You can call it soul, you can call it whatever, but to me, it comes off as pain. Pretty sweet to put that on the album, and very true. As far as the record, this song sounds like something Kanye West would produce. It has synthesizer work on it, kind of sliding melodically, portamento, and it has the vocals really manipulated, reverb spaced out. This has that lift off music vibe that Kanye pretty much created. Also has the taiko drums, which is another thing Kanye is responsible for bringing into hip hop. As far as 808s and Heartbreak, those tribal drums, make sense. Sounds like a Kanye track. Might as well dive all the way in. Track number 4, we have California Girls. Oof, this record slides. This reminds me of Ray Shremmerd. So something that Sway Lee, would be proud of for sure. The melody on that hook. Yeah, you could just recite it, remember it right away. This is a hit record. No surprise that this is the second single. Track number 5, we got Tank Top Pluto. Yes, this is the Future that we wanted. This is the Future that we've been missing. This is that good stuff. This is prime Future, DS2, Free Band Gang mixtape. Just going in 808 Mafia, Lex Luger style beat, bass on this, real distorted. It's knocking. This is definitely one of the best songs on the album. Now we can sit here. All right, number 6, we got Wait Up. Not like hold up, wait up, I need more time. More like I need to get my weight up. I need to get my weight up. Starts off with like a crooner singing something like Nat King Cole Frank Sinatra type style. The song actually ends up sampling whoever that is, got the string arrangement, the orchestra, bit scary, bit spooky, but cinematic, right? Something like an Alfred Hitchcock movie, some psycho stuff. All right, number 7, we got Konnichiwa. She said Konnichiwa in Japan. Yeah, Konnichiwa is probably my favorite record, and I ain't gonna lie. This is that Free Bang Gang mixtape. Faux show. This is that, that Piff, DJ Drama. You just wish DJ Drama was yelling in the beginning of this one. You wish he can get pulled back, halfway through the first verse. Record you would expect Gucci Mane to feature, Young Scooter, Migos, something like that. But I'm pretty happy that Future decided to go solo on this record. It just goes to show you how capable he is as a music artist. Even though I wish there was a feature on this joint, it doesn't really take away from it at all. Future crushes it. Next, we got Trench Coat, track number 8. Man, I mean, that bass so distorted on this one. Sounds like a 8-bit Nintendo game going off, but it's just so bassy at the same time. You could crank this up to 11 on the system and it's not going to crack on you. Mix on this record is ridiculous. The flow that Future uses, get 10 rappers to write a song on this beat, they're not going to take that approach on this one. It's just so different, but works so well because of how gritty the beat is and how grimy it is. It's just a perfect compliment. Just having a catchy phrase and a catchy flow that goes through the whole track. Nobody does that better than Future. Trench coat, pink coat, meat coat, oof. Trench coat. All right, number 9, we got Snow and Skyami. Okay, I'm from Miami, but I don't know. I left Miami, and I don't know if I'm getting old or I'm out of touch, but I've never heard anybody refer to Miami as Skyami. Apparently, it's something that's going on, but I'm not really sure. Y'all have to check me in the comments if this is not him being original. But in any case, this is a great example of hip hop, the impact that it has on the world, on society. I can guarantee, I will bet my last dollar with any one of you who wants to prove otherwise. I will bet that Miami is going to be referred to as Skyami for the foreseeable future. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a skyline. I don't know if it's because the skies are beautiful, nice and sunny on the beach. But hey, I'm calling Miami Skyami. When I go down in 305, guess where I'm going? Skyami. Track number 10, we got Build a Bee, Build a Bear, Build a Chick. Put those two together, say less. That's what you get. This is definitely a highlight on the record. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the ladies' favorite. Ladies, y'all let me know. Sounds sexy, sounds like, romantic, something you'll play at night when you're trying to set the mood with your significant other. Later on in the song, it sounds like it's actually a female singer doing a little bit of a guest contribution there. So that was a little bit of a surprise, but it's good. It makes it sound more like a duet, right? Which is, R&B legacy right there. And this is the R&B mood on the album, I would say. Okay, track number 11, we got the first single on the record, Radio. Ironically, he's singing on the song. This is not for the radio, but that is the whole dichotomy, the whole irony behind it. This is a great song for daytime radio. And I do think it was a nod to a alternative rock artist, not for radio. If you don't believe me, don't think that Future would be listening to alternative rock and what's going on in that realm. Well, you got another thing coming for you down the pike. Believe that. All right, number 12, we got 2018. Jesus Christ. I don't know what Future was thinking on this record. Yeah, we're talking about Rusty 380. You're in the midst of a great string of songs and we're half through and we get probably the worst song I've ever heard in my life. Sounds like my first beat that I made on Fruity Loops. back when FL Studio was called Fruity Loops, right? In 2000, God knows what. I don't know. He tries to be creative on this and like does this high pitch rap. Um, but it just sounds like nails to a chalkboard. How he played this for other people and they didn't tell him that this 1000% should not be on the album. Maybe they did, and maybe this was like a joke. Maybe he's trolling. I mean, it certainly went viral. I don't know if any publicity is good publicity though. So in my opinion, this was a poor decision to include this song on the album. Okay, number 13, we got Money Over Everything. This song does a great job of getting us back into the swing of things because Lord knows the song before it was terrible, obnoxious, high pitch sounding synthesizer, but then it like filters down for the next 4 or 8 bars, and everything gets low frequency, and then the next 8 bars goes back. You remove that filter, and you get the full frequencies going. Very obnoxious. If you love trap rap, classic trap, Jeezy, this is that joint. This is that if you love Lil Wayne, yeah. All right, number 14, Off the Hinge. This beat go cray. When I first heard it, I thought there was like a Haas effect going on, which is pretty much you get like the original sound in one ear and then you delay it and manipulate it on the right side of the image, which gives it like a bigger sound without having to turn it up or turn it down, whatever. I thought that's what was happening, but listening to it a few more times, I realized it's just one heck of either one synth sound or two different synth sounds, and just a great decision by the beat maker. So one's pan hard left, the other sounds pan hard right, and they're sort of just like going in opposite directions. It's pretty wild. All right, number 15, If I Could. Fuge slows it back down. Okay. We're back in R&B element. Notice this song is called If I Could. And if you go back and pay attention, you'd actually realize that this song pays homage to If I Ruled the World, which, you would think, oh, that's the song from Nas with Lauryn Hill singing the hook. But really, that song is actually based off the Curtis Blow record, If I Ruled the World. That's where it gets that sound from, as far as the freestyle element that I was referring to earlier. That is that b-boy skating rink music. That's the sound right there. All right, track number 16, we got Big Moment. Highlight of the record for me. Remember when Andre 3000 was talking about that pain, that struggle, that balance? This record is a perfect example of that. The importance of big moments in your life, following through when everybody's doubting you, or you could be doubting yourself. And Future is one of the few rappers that's able to deliver on these records. Nevertheless, he still makes it catchy, which is really dope. Usually it's hard to, you get one or the other. You get a catchy song or you get a real song. He's able to do both and combine those elements successfully. Number 17, we got Cast a Spell. Sounds like Future's paying homage to Juice WRLD. I love Juice WRLD. I think he was one of the greatest rap artists of this century. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to reach his full potential. Gone too soon. First of all, singing in falsetto does a much better job than whatever he was doing on 2018. A lot of distortion, clipping on the kick and the snare clap combination. A lot of people can't get their drums to slap, and the key is actually in that snare. You gotta throw a clap on top of it to get the slap sound, right? Sound like somebody slapping you across the face as hard as possible. That is the sound. It's actually the snare clap combo. Number 18, Kick. Ugh. This joint here, this probably the hardest beat on the album. Has that dump, that different drum pattern. The bass sub kick on this goes to another low. This one it takes you to the basement. You have like a piano sample going on. It sounds like a piano that you'll hear in a saloon, kind of detuned, like a chorus piano, like really old and needs to be retuned again. And then there's like it's like in a room. You could like there's reverb, room reverb on the piano, where it really sounds like you're literally in a Western bar or something like that. All right, number 19, we got Hollywood. Highlight of the record. This is probably one of the most special songs on this album, just because it's unique. We've never heard Future do something like this. This is an 80s rock anthem, and Future, I'm here for it. It's not a trap song with him giving us sprinkles of different stuff, different elements, different genres. No, this is him fully diving into another genre. 80s rock, Billy Idol, White Wedding. I'm groovy, right? What's going on, Future? Well, he's actually personating Billy Idol and trying to come up with something that he would do as far as Rebel Yell, White Wedding, things of that nature. Play this. All right, number 20, Feeling I Give. This one is pretty mysterious. There's a lot of elements that I do like about it though. So you have like Sierra style Atlanta pop lock type of thing going on. I mean, it plays with halftime and double time. It sounds like, something that you could, the B-boys could breakdance to. And then there's also like an opera singer that does a nice vocal run. It's kind of weird, but it's good. Something maybe like The Weeknd would be proud of. Yeah. She wanna go where she ain't been before. Number 21, we got Alice. This is the Pharrell Williams produced record. And this is like a club anthem. Wouldn't mind this being played in the strip club too. A little too pop for that, but it'll go. All right, so Pharrell did a hell of a job on this beat. Definitely pays homage to original house music. Though it's not a direct sample, I would say it's kind of a ripoff of like maybe Show Me Love from Robin S. Songwriting on it, you could tell Pharrell probably helped with as well. It's called Alice because it's a direct correlation to the Alice in Wonderland story. Track 22, Eye to Eye. This is the joint. This is one hell of an outro and a great way to send off Future. This just sounds like the ghetto. Some cheap sounding violin. It would be cheesy in any other genre of music, but it just works so well when you're making street music. Sounds like going to church, having to go to church reunion, you want to go to church, right? Sounds like going to the corner store, riding your bike around the neighborhood. Every bar on this joint goes hard. I wasn't playing around on the curb. I was moving tilapia. Sheesh. Talking about that fish scale. Put on Gucci slippers. You ain't got that G like me. Trying to see this little bitty city in a helicopter. We seeing eye to eye on everything. We seeing eye to eye. Future's back. Future is back. The last album, mixtape Pluto, I think, that record was probably Future's worst record. I was very, very disappointed in that one, but he delivered on this record. This is one of his best albums. His ratio of good songs to bad songs, this might be his best ratio yet. Me personally, there's only one song that I would consider a skip on this. Want to guess? You could imagine which one that would be. And so for that, I'm giving this album 4 cups of juice. Why not 5? Well, a couple reasons. Future, the decision to put 2018 on this album was terrible. That was one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. It's halfway in the album, right in a spot where I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people turn off this album when they get to track 11, I believe. Just goes to show you how important the playthrough of an album is, top to bottom, especially in this climate where people, could turn you off in a split second, move on to the next artist easily or the next playlist, right? You kind of have to keep people motivated and captivated. But, I think a 4 out of 5 is the highest caliber for a Future album. I would put this album up there with the best Future albums, whether it's DS2 or Future. slash Hendrix, and 56 Nights. Fuge, you are the GOAT of the trap. Great album. All right. So that is that. Hope you guys enjoyed my run through of Future, the real me. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe for the culture. Peace out.